I don't know if you heard what we were talking about here for the first half hour of the program, but there's this effort underway by the Bureau of Land Management. In fact, it's pretty much already done. They're changing the definition of several things, and basically it's a land grab of tens of millions of acres, mostly in the western United States, that'll put it off limit to grazing, to hunting, to fishing. They're going to close more than half the roads, changing the definitions, and third parties like the Sierra Club and other radicals can come in and lease the land in perpetuity, and then they decide what it gets used for, which is nothing. You can't walk on it. Yeah. You can't move on it. You can't use it. This is the greatest land grab. And this is all in an effort to destroy ranching and farming in the West while they go after agriculture all over the country. And American agriculture accounts for less than 1.4% of all greenhouse gases, according to every study I've found. It's not about greenhouse gases. It's about control. And you say what?
I say absolutely. You and I have talked about, excuse me, the farmers in the Netherlands. It's the globalists, the EU, want to put 50% of the farmers in the Netherlands out of business because they emit too much nitrogen. You just had the UN Energy Summit, Climate Summit. What do they want to do? They want to tell America to stop eating beef. And so,
it's interesting, and I want to make a bigger point of this, Pete. Yeah, they want Americans to stop eating beef. On the menu was prime filet mignon, smash burgers, and all sorts of beef, succulent beef, it said on the menus that came out. So they're sitting there with cheeseburgers on their breath, telling the peasants, hey, peasants, no meat for you. No meat for you. You eat cricket. I mean, seriously. Yeah. This is, I'd like to use stronger words, but it's a family program. Go ahead.
No, that's exactly right. It is all about control, and it's about, Whitmer here in Michigan telling us what cars we can drive, what cars we can't drive, just making edicts. None of this stuff is going through due process. They want, the scary thing is they have control. They don't only want control, they have control. And they're putting these rules and regulations in place. And unless we fight them, and fight them aggressively, this will become policy, and it will become difficult for the next president or for the next governor.
Well, here's my challenge.
Rip these things out.
Here's why. I'm going to go back to the EPA, West Virginia versus the EPA in the Supreme Court about a year and a half ago. The decision came out. The EPA lost because of they have the Chevron decision years ago that basically, if it's not spelled out completely, then the agency, pick your three-letter agency of choice, can make decisions and rules and all this other stuff. Well, the Department of Interior and the Bureau of Land Management are way beyond the scope of anything that they were given the power to do. Leasing land to third parties like the Sierra Club so they can dictate that I'm not allowed to use the land or we can't graze cattle or whatever it might be. You can't lease the entire country to third-party environmental Nazis. I mean, no hunting, no fishing, no walking, no use. It's multi-use land for a reason, and they're trying to destroy that completely. Pete, how do we get this back? I mean, we have some other Supreme Court decisions that are going to come down this term when it comes to the Chevron decision. It is so important that this court says, no, I've never been represented in this. My member of Congress never voted on giving away federal lands to the Sierra Club or anybody else, the Council for Biological Diversity or whatever they're called, right? This is a power grab, a land grab, and disenfranchising American citizens, me, you, and all of us.
Absolutely. And, this is why early on in the Biden administration, they were talking about packing the Supreme Court. Because right now, for much of this, the only backstop we have is the Supreme Court. And if the Supreme Court doesn't stand up for individual rights and against big government, we would be losing all of this. And that's why elections matter. And, in many of these cases, it's not that the Biden administration is doing things they didn't tell us they were doing. They're doing exactly what they told us they were going to do. And some of the things, like you said, are things that we've never talked about, but they're sneaking through the administrative state. That just makes it extremely scary for us as individuals to see what they are doing to America. And it's one area after another. It's federal lands today. Yesterday it was student loans. The reports are they funneled secretly $3 billion to the train to nowhere in California. That's way over budget. And they haven't constructed much of this high-speed rail from that was supposed to go from San Francisco down to San Diego.
Oh, yeah, fleece of